Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Oshin and I'm not a financial advisor. This is the part 3 of the series we started on investing opportunities here in Nigeria. If you missed the part 2 of this series, kindly click on the clip bit above. In the part 2 we discussed about investing in this US stock market from right here in Nigeria. I advise that you watch this video so you have a proper understanding of how you could probably increase your earnings or your wealth by investing in the US stock market. The video is quite extensive and it would be awesome if you could just click on that and watch it probably after this video. All right, so in today's video we'll be looking at bonds and treasury bills and how you could possibly get into the game of investing in bonds and treasury bills. But first, what are bonds? Bonds are typically huge loans that big organizations or government issue out to the public in order to borrow huge sums of money from the public. They are typically long-term loans and they have a period of about 1 year and above. So you have bonds running for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 7 years, depending on the amount and the duration that company or the government is looking at borrowing the monies for. Typically, you have ratings for all of these bonds with a AAA rating, meaning it has lower risk of ever failing. Now, typically bonds are low risk payments, and obviously they have low interest rates also. And we'll be taking a look at this and comparing it to the part 2 of the video where we spoke about stocks and the gains you could possibly make from investing in the US stock market. All right, so now what's are treasury bills? Treasury bills are short-term loans that the government guarantees, right? And they are typically issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria on behalf of the government. Now, the CBN uses this tool to also reduce the amount of money in circulation. And they are short-term loans, like I said, and we have them in 91-day durations, 182 days duration, and also 364 days duration. We are looking at bonds right now, and in this video we'll be looking at 2 major bonds here that we invest in Nigeria. So the first one is the FGN saving bonds and the second one is the sovereign sukuk bond. Now, sukuk simply means certificate in Islam. Now, what are FGN bonds? What are FGN bonds? Now, typically FGN bonds is a bond issued by the DMO, that's the Debt Management Office, on behalf of the Nigerian government, and this began in 2017. Basically, it was introduced in order to improve the saving culture of Nigerians, and I think that was around March of 2017 when this was introduced. Basically, it targeted the retail investors, and it also guaranteed whatever monies or principals the people were bringing in. And the government is issuing saving bonds at ordinary Nigerians, just like we said, and it's just to help promote the saving culture of Nigerians. Now, this bond is issued monthly by the DMO, and then it has a minimum amount of 5,000 naira, which you could increase by adding additional 1,000 naira. So it's incremental by every 1,000, meaning you could do a minimum of 5,000 naira and then 6,000, 7,000, like that, multiples of 1,000 naira. You can't do 5,500, stuff like that, with a maximum amount of 50 million naira for individuals. Now, the interest rate currently for the 2-year period, I think the last one issued was in September, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, September of this month. That was the last one that was issued, and the interest rate for a 2-year period is 3.501%, and for a 3-year period 4.501%. Like we all know, the interest rates on bonds and T-bills have over the months been going down. Initially, the interest rate on saving bonds was as high as 18% just as of last year, and all of this decrease in the interest rate is also affecting mutual funds, money market, and of course the pension funds. But we'll be taking a look at that in future videos and analyzing exactly what is happening to the interest rates of bonds and treasury bills. Now, the payout time for the interest is quarterly, so they pay you your interest every 3 months, until the expiration of the period for these loans. So if you're doing a 2-year period, it means you're going to be paid 8 times, that's 8 quarters, every 3 months. And at the end of the expiration of the bond, you are going to get your principal back. Now, typically, you could go to any registered agent or investment stockbroker to get on board of the FGN saving bond. So we have FBN Quest is quite big on that. We have Stanbic asset management. Second thing we are looking at is the Sukuk bond. And the Sukuk bond, like I said, it means certificate in Islam. Now, Sukuk is an investment certificate that represents the ownership interest of holders in an asset or pool of assets. So typically, the Nigerian government raised this in order to be able to invest in infrastructure development. And they raised the third one. I think the third one was raised in sometime in June of this year. And the last interest rate that was given was about 11.2%. That was earlier this year. Now, why does the government raise the Sukuk fund? They raise it basically to construct key economic infrastructure projects across Nigeria, such as roads. Second thing is to diversify the source of government funding. The third thing is to offer investors an opportunity to invest in government issued security. Now, like I said earlier, government securities have low risk. It would involve the government totally collapsing for you not to get your funds back, which is highly unlikely. Now, the fourth thing is to achieve a higher level of financial inclusion. Now, the minimum amount you can invest in the Sukuk bond is 10,000 naira, and interest rates, like I said, was 11.2%, and the last one that was released in June of this year. Now, at the end of the 7-year tenure, which is June 2027, you would get your principal back. Now, for the Sukuk, payouts are done semi-annually, unlike the FGN saving bonds that is done every quarter. By semi-annually, we mean you are paid twice in a year. Every 6 months, you are paid your interest rates. Now, we are moving straight ahead to Treasury bills. And what are Treasury bills? Treasury bills are government guaranteed debts instruments issued by CBN on behalf of the finance expenditure, and they are typically released every 2 weeks, every Wednesdays. And the issue period, like I said earlier, is every 2 weeks. The minimum amount is above 50 million naira. Now, this used to be a lot smaller until around 2017 when they increased it. But then individuals can also still get on board and invest their funds in Treasury bills. You could just walk up to any agent. Most banks are agents. Most banks are accredited agents. So you could walk up to them and you could invest your funds. Most of them typically take a minimum of 100,000 naira from you. Then they pull the funds together, make the required amount, and then invest, and they pay you your funds. So now you have interest rates currently for the various durations at an all-time low. Now, these interest rates were released as at 3 days ago, I think on the 17th. Now, for the 91 days duration, you get an interest of 1.09% per annum. For the 182 days, you get 1.5% per annum. And for the 364 days, you get 3.05% per annum. Now, all of these interest rates that have been reducing was also the reason why this interest rate on savings accounts also reduced to about 1.3%. That was earlier this month. The payout time for the interest is upfront, meaning your interest are paid to you upfront. So, for example, if you are doing Treasury bills of value at 100,000 naira and you are earning 3% for a 364-day duration, 3% of that is around 3,000 naira. They simply pay you your 3,000 naira upfront, and then it's as though you are investing 97,000 naira with the government. It is also important to know that whatever agent that you're using, a bank, a stockbroker, whatever agent you are using, is going to charge you administrative fees. Now, these fees are not static and they are dependent on whoever you are dealing with. For example, banks have a different fee they charge you. So bank A can charge you a certain amount and bank B can charge you a different amount. So it depends on the agent that you are using to buy your treasury bills. Now let's take a look at the difference between FGN bonds and treasury bills. Now for FGN bonds, the period of issue is monthly. FGN bonds are released monthly by the DMO. Now for treasury bills are released every Wednesdays every 2 weeks by the CBN. The duration offer is open for 5 days for FGN saving bonds and for 1 day for treasury bills. Now the tenure of FGN saving bonds is 2 or 3 years, whereas that of treasury bills is 3 months, which is a 91-day duration, 6 months, which is the 182 days duration, and 12 months, which is a 364 days duration. The bid range for FGN savings bond is a minimum of 5,000 naira with multiples of 1,000 naira in addition. For treasury bills, it is above 50 million, even though you could walk into any accredited agent such as your bank and make payments for your treasury bills. Some banks actually accept 100,000 naira and above. Now for the maximum amount for the FGN saving bond is 50 million naira. Now time interest is paid every 3 months for saving bonds and immediately for treasury bills. You earn your interest upfront. Settlement date for both of them is upon expiration, meaning at the end of the duration of the agreement you get your principal back. Now some people might ask, is it possible for you to terminate the agreement? Yes, it's possible. They could always sell your bonds or treasury bills, auction it out, and you get paid back. But the only difference is, or the disadvantage is, you might lose some of your funds or some of your investments. Now the average rate for the FGN bond for 2-year period is 3.501% per annum, and for 3 years is 4.501% per annum. Meanwhile, for the treasury bills, 3 months is 1.09% per annum, 6 months is 1.5% per annum, and 12 months is 3.05% per annum. How could you possibly purchase your bonds and treasury bills? Now, we have a couple of them that you can purchase from, a couple of agents that you could deal with. You could walk into any of these companies or get their contact details online, give them a call, send them emails. Also, in the description below, I'll be putting a link showing all of the accredited agents that you could walk into. There are about 129 of them, but the really big ones that I can just bring out and mention here are Lotus Capital, ARM Securities, FBN Quest. You have Sigma Securities. They are all good. Again, most banks are also involved in all of this. You could also walk into your bank and make inquiries on all of these investment instruments. You have UBA, GTB, Zenith Bank, Stanbic IPTC. Walk into any one of them and make your inquiries. These investment instruments are easy to get into. You just have to know their open dates and you could just invest your money with them. Thank you very much for watching this video, and like I always say, please hit the like button, share this video. Someone might just need to hear this. Share this video, subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell, and please invest safe.